Hi, in this video, we're going to learn how to use the jQuery client-side %editor control by Logistics. What I have in front of me is a blank Visual Studio 2010 project loaded as an ASP.NET MVC application. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a HTML file. Because you're working entirely on the client side, we don't need any server-side code. Come down here into my web and select an HTML page and name it igPercentEditor. Now, inside of this HTML page, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by adding the script and CSS references, and then we're going to write some code to instantiate a client-side %editor control. So I'm going to come to my scripts folder. I'm going to drop the jQuery core first, because everything is dependent upon the jQuery core. And then the next thing is the jQuery UI. Finally, I'm going to come down into my IG scripts and drop the igui.min.js. Next, I'm going to drop the CSS references so that our control and its instantiated on the client looks nice. So in our contents folder, in the base directory, we have a file called igui.min.css, what we need. And also, what we need is the jQuery UI.custom.css. Anything that I'm dropping here, it's part of the install package. So when you install the product, you will get a directory that has all these JavaScript and CSS files, and you can copy them as is over to your application, and you can just do drag and drop like I did. But now, in order to do client-side coding, we need a placeholder in our body. So we'll pick a div element and give it an ID of %editor. Back in my head section, I'm going to start writing my script. So I'm going to do script and use the jQuery onLoad or onReady function, which we know gets fired every time the DOM is initialized on the client side. And in this function, we're going to grab our %editor first using the ID selector and editor. And then we're going to just call the jQuery plugin on it. So we're going to call ID. And by doing that, we have successfully converted our DOM element here into a %editor control. And in here, we can just add the default behavior, default properties that we want to use. To kind of give you an idea of what we have available out of the box, I'm going to set some properties on it. I'm going to set the null text first. It's actually a text that we display when there is no value in the editor control, and we'll call it enter %value. Next thing, we're going to set up a data mode. Double. You can set it to be other data types if you wanted the we also use buttons. So all of our editor controls support drop down and pin buttons. By default, if you just initialize the editor control, it would not show any buttons. So it will just be an input control with specialized settings. So if you're using %editor in this case, you will see a % sign. But if you want to show a spin button as well, so that's a spin button to be a button of type spin. There's also a spin delta, which is a value by which the value, the editor needs to be incremented or decremented when the user clicks on the spin button. So if the value is 10, and I've set 5 here. If the person presses the increment button, it will be 15. Next thing, we'll set a min value of 0 and a max value of 100. There are other properties. You can go for documentation to learn more about the controls and the customization options. But for this demo, we'll keep it to 6 properties, and let's right click and run this in the browser. And at one time, you can see that this is the editor control that got instantiated on the client using our jQuery client-side plugin, and the null text is showing up, which is the 100% value. I can come in here and I can set up a value, let's say 23, and tab out of it, and you'll see that it's automatically going to change to 4%. And I can use the recommend button to update my values and it will use the spinning delta here for value of 5. So you're going to think about value of 5 with that value of 5. Similarly, if I try to set a value of 120, for example, it's going to come back 100%, which is the best max value that the editor gets using our property. Similarly, for min value, if I try to do a negative number, which it won't let me because the minimum value we can set on this editor goes 0. So if I try to hit the negative sign, it won't let me do that. And in this demo, you saw that you can use the jQuery client-side editor plugin grab any HTML element and convert it to a percent editor control. Thanks for watching.
Infragistics. On the web at infragistics.com.